Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I wanted to give a bit of a first impressions video and also just talk to you guys about the rework that the Dr. Home exotic rifle in the Division 2 received with the recent Season 11 update. In case you didn't hear, yes, the gun's talent has been reworked, so this is not going to be like a build video, it's just going to be some gameplay in the background and my first thoughts and impressions of using the gun after Season 11 has now gone live. The Dr. Home was not one of the most beloved exotics upon its release back in Season 10. You know, it was actually probably one of the most hated I've ever seen. That was probably exacerbated by the fact that it was the reward tied to the manhunt, meaning I think a lot of people assumed that it was going to be pretty good just based off the fact of its exclusivity, but now, you know, it ended up not being that good. It's still, I think the talent had some potential, but just the way it was implemented was not the most engaging, we'll say. And so it came as a pleasant surprise to me, and I think many others, when on the reveal stream for Season 11 this last Monday, they talked about how the Dr. Home has been reworked in Season 11. They've made the talent, I would say, way more conducive to the type of playstyle it's encouraging you to play with, and I think it's pretty cool. So this is what the rework has now done. Previously, upon shooting an enemy with the Dr. Home, they would receive a mark, and if they died while that mark was still on them, they would drop a, what do they call it, like Dr. Home kit, I think, on the point of their death, which when you went and picked it up, it couldn't be your teammates, it had to be the person wielding the Dr. Home picked that kit up. It then granted you and your entire team 15% armor to your current values. So the actual team healing functionality was pretty cool, but what was odd about it, and what I think put a lot of people off about it, was the fact that you had to go and pick it up, because that doesn't really gel with what the rest of the build type was about, because you're using a rifle, which is typically more long range. You're also supposed to be more of a support and a healer, so running around the battlefield isn't always the smartest. It just ended up being clunky, which I think was unfortunate. However, what they've now done in Season 11 is made it so that the armor value instead of 15% is 10%, so that has been reduced by 5%, but what they've done is that it's the same functionality where you shoot an enemy with the Dr. Home, they receive a mark, but if anybody kills them, you know, on your team, or however that enemy dies with the mark on them, it automatically applies a 10% armor heal to your entire team. You don't have to go out and pick it up. You don't have to do anything. It's just an automatic 10% heal to everybody. And that's pretty cool. It brings it much more in line with that dedicated healer focus, I feel like, because then the user isn't having to worry about running around and picking up the kits to actually heal their team. They just have to shoot with a gun, and if that enemy dies, then it heals the whole team. So I will say this, after using the new and improved Dr. Home for a little while, it's certainly better than it was before, but it's still not going to be meta, at least not in my opinion. The one thing that I think continues to hold this exotic back is that the playstyle of a rifle, at least the way I play, doesn't typically match the playstyle of a healer, right? At least the way that I play a healer and the way that the skills work in the Division 2 in order to heal people, you're usually trying to stay with your group as they move around a play space, move around wherever. You're dropping your hive down, you're shooting chems at them, you're doing all of that. A rifle is typically more of a long-range weapon, and you can use this at closer ranges, but I think that then detracts from the amount of time you could be spending otherwise healing your team. So I think this weapon overall fits more into the support role rather than the dedicated healer role, and that's fine, and it does fine there, but I still don't know if this weapon is really going to become a go-to for a lot of players. Like I said, it is certainly better than before, and I still think the weapon actually handles really well. I said that in my original review back in Season 10, that the mods it has on it and the different stats, like, it does a lot of damage. I have a damage focused build. Also, by the way, this countdown run you're watching in the background, the close range damage modifier is on, so if you see me doing wild damage up close, that's why. But the gun itself is fine. Like, it does good damage, and I think the handling is really easy to control. You can get pretty easy headshots, but again, for it to be more of a support focused weapon, and you're trying to move around and shoot stuff, it just gets a bit muddied, I feel like. Where I will say I think this would work best is in coordinated groups. Like, for example, if you have a setup with your teammates where you can rely on them to consistently shoot the targets that you're marking with the Dr. Home, and they are in turn relying on your healing, meaning they're not speccing their builds really into self-sustain because they know that they can consistently get 10% heals from you, I think this could actually be a really fun thing to bake into like a team composition, you know? Like, if you're doing heroic countdown runs with like 8 of your clanmates and one person is focused on the Dr. Home deal, and maybe, like in my build, I use the tactician drone to be able to pulse the entire room. If someone was doing that and they had the Dr. Home and everybody knew that they had the Dr. Home, so they're going to shoot your targets so that everybody gets healed up and they can just, you know, further sustain the momentum like that, that could be pretty cool, and I think it would actually work really well there. But as it stands for stuff like match-made content or just regular play in the game, like I said, while the gun does a lot of damage and while it's a lot of fun, There are better options if you're going for just damage, and based off of that, I don't think this is a must-have weapon or a must-use weapon in the role of healing or support. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on the new and improved Dr. Home in Season 11 of The Division 2. Everybody, were you surprised to see that it got a rework? And if so, have you used it yet since the update went live? If not, do you think this is enough of a change, or do you think maybe the changes should have been a bit more significant? Whatever your thoughts are on those or anything else, I will as always be super curious to read through your thoughts. That's going to do it for me today, though. Everybody, once again, thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And until the next one, guys, RogueGold. Ow.
Proceed immediately to your nearest exit. Full lockdown.
System curtailed. System reactivated.
When you're ready, send up a flare so Torres can pick you up.
I saw them!
We see you. Helo inbound on your location.